show the life when you're just a pretty face.
Just to be whoever you are is no disgrace. Don't be scared if you don't fit in. Look who's in the reject bin. It's the Raggy Dolls.
Raggy Dolls.
Raggy Dolls.
Raggy Dolls.
Dolls like you and me. Raggy Dolls.
Raggy Dolls.
Raggy Dolls.
Raggy Dolls.
Made him perfectly. So if you got a bump on your nose or lumps on your toes, do not despair. Be like the Raggy Dolls and say I just don't care. 'Cause Raggy Dolls,
Raggy Dolls.
Raggy Dolls
Raggy
are
Dolls.
happy just to be Raggy Dolls, Raggy Dolls, dolls like you and me. One morning, Sad Sack was feeling particularly sad. He sighed a deep sigh.
What's the matter, Sad Sack?
Asked Lucy kindly.
Nothing of any importance,
Said Sad Sack, and he sighed again.
You need cheering up.
Said Princess.
Yes,
Agreed Lucy.
tell him a joke, Princess.
Oh, I'm no good at telling jokes.
I get all muddled up.
Sad Sack sighed again.
I know.
Said Lucy.
Let's get back to front. I'm sure he knows lots of jokes.
It's no use,
Thought Sad Sack.
no one is as miserable as me.
And without waiting for back to front, he made his way to the factory canteen.
Perhaps a snack will cheer me up.
He thought. Taking great care that no one saw him, Sad Sack crept under the tables to the kitchen door.
What's that noise?
He thought. Surely no one could be more miserable than him, and yet someone was crying. He pushed open the kitchen door and peeked in. Florrie Fosdyke was chopping onions. Sad Sack could see that her face was all swollen up and blotchy, and tears streamed down her cheeks.
Oh, heck, she sniffed. Oh, dear, look at me crying like a baby.
I must tell the others, he thought. Maybe there's something we can do.
Meanwhile, Florrie Fosdyke had scooped all the chopped onions into a big saucepan of boiling water.
Oh, thank goodness all the peeling and chopping is done. I hate making onion soup.
By the time the Raggy Dolls reached the kitchen door, the soup was nearly ready.
Oh la la, cried Claude. Smell that, mes amis. Soup à l'oignon. My favorite.
The Raggy Dolls sniffed and nodded. It certainly smelt good. Florrie Fosdyke was whistling happily as she took the soup off the heat.
She doesn't seem to be upset anymore,
Observed Sad Sack.
Silly.
Whispered Dotty.
Don't you see? She never was upset. It was chopping onions that made her cry.
Oh,
Said Sad Sack, a little confused.
Never mind that now,
Hissed Claude.
I must have some of that soup immediately.
Take care.
Warned Lucy.
Don't let anyone see you.
Added Princess. But Claude was off. We'd better be getting back, said Hi-Fi. The others agreed.
The French will do anything for food.
Said Dotty. Sad Sack was even more confused. Claude had almost reached the saucepan when it was time for lunch. Florrie was polishing spoons.
Goodness me,
She thought.
is that the time? I'd better dish up.
Claude had hidden himself under a dishcloth. Unfortunately, Florrie needed it to hold the handles of the saucepan.
Ugh,
She cried.
it's one of them French dolls. What's it doing here?
Claude stiffened and stared straight ahead.
Zut alors, he thought. I am in some danger, no?
You'll be safe in there, Dolly.
Said Florrie Fosdyke kindly, putting Claude in an empty saucepan and covering him with the lid.
When I've finished dishing up, I'll take you back to the workshop where you belong.
Florrie Fosdyke was kind, but very forgetful. Claude knew he must escape. He tried to get out, but the saucepan lid was very heavy. It was dark and stuffy inside. Claude went on pushing.
Claude's been away ever such a long time,
Said Lucy.
I do hope he's all right.
If you ask me, something bad's happened to him,
Said Sad Sack.
We better send out a search party.
Said Dotty.
Who'll volunteer?
Me.
Me. And me. And me.
I suppose I'd better go too.
Said Sad Sack.
We'll all go then.
Said Dotty.
Come on.
There was a long queue in the canteen. Florrie Fosdyke was serving onion soup from behind the counter.
What soup is it today?
Said one of the workers.
Onion, said another. I hope she's remembered to put the salt in. Last time she used sugar. I hope she's remembered to put the onions in,
Said the first. Everyone laughed, and no one noticed the Raggy dolls.
Claude.
Called Dotty. Where are you, Claude? Whispered all the Raggy dolls.
It's us.
There was a rattling sound.
Shh, listen.
Ordered Dotty.
He's trapped somewhere. Quick, search.
The Raggy dolls searched everywhere. Inside his saucepan, Claude was still trying to lift the lid.
Once more, he gasped. Courage maintenant. Un, deux, trois.
There he is. I see him.
Cried Lucy. But before the Raggy dolls could help, the kitchen door swung open and in burst Florrie Fosdyke.
Poor old Grimesy. I've forgotten all about his dinner.
She cried.
Now where's that soup I put by for him?
Claude felt his pan being lifted high into the air and plonked down again. Then it was bounce, 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 all the way to Mr. Grimes' office.
At last! Thank you, Flo, said Mr. Grimes hungrily. Onion soup today, is it?
Indeed it is,
Said Florrie.
your favourite.
She lifted the saucepan lid with a flourish.
Gracious me!
Exclaimed Mr. Grimes. He stared at Claude, who stared back without moving.
Well, I'll be,
Said Florrie.
I must have picked up the wrong saucepan.
Mr. Grimes sighed. He put Claude into his out tray and followed Florrie back to the kitchen to make sure she didn't forget his dinner a second time. No sooner were they gone than Claude made good his escape. The other Raggy dolls were huddled in the reject bin, working out a grand rescue plan.
We'll have to find some way of lifting that lid. Can you think of anything, back to front?
Yeah, no problem, said Back to Front.
No need, mes amis. I am here,
Announced Claude.
Claude!
Cried all the Raggy dolls. What a relief! And what a reunion! When the first flush of excitement was over, Sad Sack suggested that they eat something, not only to celebrate Claude's safe return, but also because they'd had no lunch.
Good thinking,
Agreed Dotty.
What do you all fancy?
How about some bread and butter?
Suggested Back to Front.
With cheese.
Added Hi-Fi.
Ham and eggs.
Said Princess.
With chips and vinegar.
Said Lucy.
Well, I'd like salad.
Said Dotty.
And I'd like bread and butter with cheese and ham and eggs and chips with vinegar and salad,
Said Sad Sack.
I am only hungry for soup à l'oignon,
Said Claude wistfully. Now, at the end of the day, before she went home, Florrie Fosdyke always put the leftovers from dinner in the canteen pantry. Today, luckily for Claude, the Raggy dolls found a bowl of onion soup on the bottom shelf.
That's funny,
Said Princess.
I can see something very odd up there.
Where? Asked the Raggy dolls.
Up there.
Said Princess. She pointed to the shelf above.
It looks like Florrie Fosdyke's hat.
Said Dotty. Just then, they heard Florrie whistling. The Raggy dolls pressed their noses to the canteen window and looked out into the yard. Laughed Sad Sack.
Doesn't she look funny?
Oh, Sad Sack,
Said Lucy.
What?
you've cheered up.
Oh, yes. I suppose I have.
Said Sad Sack, and he grinned a big grin.
It's not much of a life when you're just a pretty face. Just to be whoever you are is no disgrace. Look around and you will find people of every kind, like the raggy dolls,
Raggy dolls,
raggy dolls,
raggy dolls.
dolls like you and me. Raggy dolls,
Raggy dolls,
raggy dolls,
raggy dolls.
made imperfectly. So if you're not at ease with your knobbly knees and your fingers are all thumbs, stand on your two left feet and join our raggy doll chums. 'Cause raggy dolls,
Raggy dolls,
raggy dolls
raggy
are
dolls.
happy just to be raggy dolls, dolls like you and me.